Hi, I'm Tara Lynn of Geek Saga Entertainment, and welcome to Hot D Takes. This podcast series covers HBO's House of the Dragon, episode by episode, with myself, an avid reader of all things ASWAP, and my friend Manny, a Game of Thrones fan who is unsullied, aka has never read the books, being your stalwart hosts. So first things first, you can find me on Blue Sky, Facebook, Instagram, Threads, and YouTube at A Geek Saga.
And I'm Manny, the aforementioned unsullied co-host. You can find me on Facebook and Instagram at ManySimoArt. Thanks for joining us for this episode, which will cover House of the Dragon Season 3, Episode 6, titled Faceless Men.
As a reminder, expect spoilers from the episode we're covering, but less obvious, there will be very minimal book spoilers from Fire and Blood, which is, of course, the source material for House of the Dragon. We're going to start with a summary of Faceless Men, then cover what we think are the main hot takes from this episode, and conclude with the favorites roundup from this week's new installment.
We also have a rating system that we will, like true Targaryens, fill in when and where we please, and that system includes rating things on a scale of 1 to 10 Targ eyebrows.
Just one last piece of business before we dig in. Don't forget that Geek Saga Entertainment has a Patreon. It offers tons of ways to support us and receive some great perks in return, including access to our Hot D Takes live streams for $5 and up a month. These happen every Monday while the season is airing at 7 p.m. Eastern, or early access to our video recordings, which we release about 24 hours after we do the live stream, and then also to the podcast episodes, and that's for just $3 a month. Check it out at patreon.com/geeksaga_entertainment.
And now it's time for the long and the short of it, our weekly episode summary.
In an episode full of what the fuck is even happening here moments, we can at least say that Faceless Men kicked off with something so many people have been waiting for. No, not the sort of rushed version of the Butcher's Ball that they presented, but can you guess? Can you? Oh, come on. Obviously, it's the death of Sir Cole of House Slaw, resident noble, quote unquote, noble incel. Not only is he finally gone, but Coleslaw also didn't get the grandiose death he wanted. I suppose I'll set aside the fact that I, as a book reader, also didn't quite get the Butcher's Ball that I wanted and simply be glad he's fucking dead. So, moving on to King's Landing, Rhaenyra suffers through another difficult small council meeting in which Daemon is insistent that the best way for them to deal with their Lord Ormond problem is to burninate all to things. Rhaenyra decides to send assassins instead, a plan that Daemon can't be part of because he's too recognizable, but don't worry. After the remaining Gold Cloaks abandon their posts, Daemon kits himself out in a gold cloak fit and prowls the city looking for Ormond's assassins. He even takes out the head of the Gold Cloak Assassination Club, but something tells us that's not the end of that. Anyway, as for Alicent and Helena, it turns out they didn't remain lost in the Red Keep passageways for long. Now Rhaenyra has to confine them to their chambers under extra guard, even despite Alicent admitting Helena's pregnancy and insisting that her daughter needs to be able to play outside. And when Rhaenyra asks Mysaria if she had any clue about Helena's pregnancy, Mysaria claims she didn't and immediately moves to have the servant girl who brought her intel on Orwell's visit to Alicent and Helena killed. And Rhaenyra's struggles continue with another meeting of sorts, this time with the small folk, as she hears more petitions, the blame for which she continues to lay on the High Towers, even as she tells anyone asking for monetary recompense to bring their complaints to the new Master of Coin, Torrhen Manderley. And as she is set more and more on edge in this hearing of petitions, the thing we've been dreading finally happens. She cuts herself on the Iron Throne. Hopefully her storming out of the throne room is just as much due to her knowing she needs to clean that wound immediately as it is to her frustrations with all of the complaints.
While all of that is going down, Dragonseeds, Ulf, and Hugh continue to struggle with their current state of affairs. Ulf is mad that he can't hang out with his bros. Hugh beats down a local Tumbleton Prime delivery driver and pays a visit to his wife, who doesn't think much of him, deserting her to become a dragon rider. Let's say that these are some threads that are quickly becoming unraveled. We also make a brief stop near Rook's Rest, where Tywin Lannister is helping Babygon and Littlefooter bury the body of the garrison captain that Babygon killed. Littlefooter and Tywin are still at odds over where Babygon should go next, but when Tywin apparently doesn't tell Babygon what he wants to hear, he announces that they're for Essos, and that's that with them, at least for now. Now, Baby Gon might be actually finally listening to the person who kept him safe, but Aemond, on the other hand, isn't. At least not at first. He wants to go looking for Vhagar, and nothing Alice says about the bounty on his life, how he still has healing to do, etc., will deter him. He only seems to change his mind about leaving when she gives in and shows him the clutch of dragon eggs she has secreted away, and reminds him that he is a prince and that his sons will be princes, and that together they can be the Lady in the Water and the Dragon Lord. And then she kisses him. Which, ew, but also, who didn't see that coming? Over in the Vale, Rhaena has done pissed off Lady Aaron by flying around on Sheepstealer, something she was expressly told not to do. But hey, she wanted to see her sister, y'all. Lady Aaron lets Rhaena go with a slap on the wrist this time, but considering she literally just threw someone out the moon door, her threat that the next time Rhaena tries her will be the last probably isn't an idle one. Just keep to your cave with your dragon and mutton dinners, Rhaena. As for her sister, well, Bela is back in King's Landing and none the wiser that Rhaena was flying around in hopes of seeing her. She's exhausted and maybe not in her right mind, which is pretty much the only explanation we can come up with for why she came on to Alan of all people. I mean, really, Bela, if you wanted to follow in Rhaenyra's footsteps and land yourself a husbuncle that bad, Adam has been right there. Odd, out of the blue hookup choices on Bela's part aside, in Tumbleton, the puppet fool child Daeron is happy to see his Unky Gwaine again, even as he's pissed off at said uncle for leaving him with Ormond. Ormond himself styles Gwaine a coward for abandoning Coleslaw and escaping to Tumbleton, but he eats those words and then, LOL, vomits them back up. When Gwaine saves him and Daeron from Rhaenyra's faux Baratheon assassins. Speaking of assassins, Alice didn't put her name up for Rhaenyra's Indeed job posting board, but has been recruited nonetheless. That's what she gets for telling Rhaenyra that Helena has seen that Aemond is at Harrenhal, we guess. And Alicent rides out to pay a visit to her second son, Corlys, who is about to go back to King's Landing with his men to help Rhaenyra keep order, is taken prisoner.
We will have to wait and see how that plot twist pans out. But in the meantime, let's take a look at Maester Manny's predictions from last week. So first, gonna see Vhagar even briefly. Did not happen.
No.
Did not happen. No. Sorry, Manny, that one's out.
Yeah, didn't.
However, your other one did. Mysaria is gonna start playing the field or like playing both sides. Yeah. Yep. We found out that she did not tell Rhaenyra that Helena is pregnant. And as soon as Rhaenyra found out and was like, hey, did you know? And Mysaria was like, no, girl, I didn't. She immediately goes and is like, hey, that girl, that servant girl, she's a liar and a thief. Kill her. Kill her now.
Kill her immediately.
Mysaria, rude. I know how Mysaria is, honestly, so this isn't super surprising, but also, you're supposed to be like a champion of the small folk here, but CYA, I guess, cover your own ass.
Yep.
So yeah, you were right about that happening. I mean, literally in this episode, we got proof of it. So
yeah,
no Vhagar though. Still no Vhagar.
No Vhagar. I know. I thought we would have saw Vhagar, but
well, now Aemond is too busy with other dragon things, but we'll get into that. We'll get into that in a minute. First off, a hot take number one. I can't do Manny voice, but I just want to see Coleslaw get an arrow in his fucking neck. Or Manny's dreams come true, y'all. Well, sort of anyway. The arrows were in his stomach and his head, not his neck, but still. It's like a Maester Manny prophecy that really just started out as a wish in our episode from last week. Yeah. And basically came true. I got to give you that one. It wasn't really a prediction. It was just something you really wanted to see happen. And it basically did. Like the only thing that was wrong about it was the placement of the arrow. Okay.
I will say
and
this,
not even by much, by like several inches at best.
Yes. I will say this. When I said the neck, that was really my second choice and the only choice that I thought they would have had the balls to do. I would have said the face, because that's what I would have done, is I would have shot him in the face, but I didn't think I would get that lucky. And apparently they just smiled on me and were like, here you go, let's give Manny what he wants.
Yeah, it was great. I also love that it was Black Ally Blackwood, a great character from Fire and Blood, who stuck him full of arrows. And, hey, no songs will be sung.
No.
No songs will be sung about you and your death, Coleslaw.
Yep.
Also, him holding on to Alicent's kerchief at the end, like how he kind of wrapped it around his sword. And he's like, I will fight you. And then they just pop him full of arrows and he lands on the ground. Like, my God, dude, get over it. However, the shot of him dead on the ground with that kerchief like fluttering in the breeze a bit as the battle kind of starts and rages around him, like around his dead body. That was a great shot. That was.
Yeah, it was.
That was a fitting end for a shitty character. I know you have more to say about this, but before you get into it, I wanted to talk a little bit about book comparisons because the lead up to Coleslaw's death was different from how it happens in Fire and Blood, because in the book, he was actually the one with a large army that was marching south, and it was the blacks more so who were harrying him, because he had like 3,600 men in Fire and Blood, not what does he have now, like 20 or something by the time this happens? And it's the blacks who are harrying him, but the camp full of not actually dead men rising up to fight was on point, as was Cole being taken down by exactly 3 arrows after offering to fight by himself against, I think in the show it was 2 people, right? Maybe, but in the book, I think he says he'll fight 3. But either way, it's like he is taken down by 3 arrows after offering to fight by himself against like a couple or a few men. So even though the lead up was different in terms of who has what size army and who's harrying who, the rest of that was on point. In Fire and Blood, it's a man named Rob Rivers and just some kind of nameless archers who shoot Kristen Cole, but I really liked that they gave it to Black Ally Blackwood in the show. I thought that was a neat point. It brings her character a little more to the forefront, because before we kind of only saw her in the background after they defeated the Lannister army in the Riverlands, and then also kind of singing along with Daemon after that battle. But now she's kind of stepped up and shot her shot, so to speak. So I'm really hoping we get to see more of her. And then in the book, after Kristen Cole is dead, the blacks, featuring the Winter Wolves, pour down into the encampment trap to destroy the remainder of Cole's forces in what came to be known as the Butcher's Ball, which I mentioned in the summary, which is basically what was pictured on screen. I liked that we got some of the fighting, and I'll even say I like that we got Coleslaw swinging his flail around, and he at least got to show off some of his skills toward the end there. But I've seen things online where maybe people who haven't read the books more so, I'm not really sure, are saying that his death was kind of underwhelming, and I'm like, yeah, that's the point, my dude.
That's the point, yeah.
It's only been a couple things I've seen about it, but it's like, really underwhelming? That's what we wanted. We wanted underwhelming, right?
Yep.
He didn't deserve a glorious end.
No.
What they pictured on screen for the Butcher's Ball was how it happened in the book, but I just think I was hoping for maybe a little bit more, not just the kind of overhead shot of some men streaming down into that little encampment and then cut to nothing. I'm not necessarily complaining, but I was hoping to see a little bit more. But I don't, the more I've thought about it and watching it 3 times at least, I'm like, okay, no, I'm fine with the way they did this, I think. So,
well, let me go ahead and let's just take a moment to put our heads down in silence and just say, dear gods of the old and the new, I want to take this time to thank you for hearing my prayers and giving Sir Andrew Tate, Sir Crispin Cole, a lot of arrow in the face he deserved. And the fact that it was a woman who did it was really the icing on the cake for me. This is the best episode of Game of Thrones ever made. 11 out of 10 Targ eyebrows. I am glad he didn't go out in battle, just unceremoniously shot in the face and torso multiple times. Good fucking riddance. When the birds are feasting upon your corpse, I will think of you and Chipotle, both things I hate dearly.
I mean, yeah, you're right. 11 out of 10 Targ eyebrows. For the fact that he's dead, for the fact that he didn't get his glorious, grandiose death that people will sing about.
Yes, this was the highest thing I've ever rated throughout this series. Was just watching him get an arrow to the face was just extremely enjoyable. I felt really, really good watching that.
I know last night when I messaged you, I was like, you need to watch this tonight. You cannot wait until tomorrow, because I could not risk you getting online somewhere and being spoiled by, like, I wouldn't do it, obviously, but you just sign into Facebook or Instagram or something, and the first thing that pops up on your feed, because of course we talk about it, we look things up online, we send each other memes and reels and stuff. Like, I could not risk you being spoiled for that. You had to see it first.
Yeah.
And I was dead asleep when you messaged me. I think it was like 12:30 a.m. or something. But I got up this morning and I was like, oh, thank God he watched it. Good.
Oh, it was wonderful. I definitely had a cigarette after that one. I was like, you know what? This was great. This was the best sex I've ever had in my life. So, hot take number 2. Happy Valentine's Day, Eamon. in which Alice bribes Aemon to stay at Harrenhal with dragon eggs. First, yes, the historical Rhaena was at Harrenhal for many years, and her dragon Dreamfire, who is now Helena's dragon, did have a stint there as well. Also, Dreamfire was a very fertile dragon. So there is stuff in the lore to back up how and why these eggs ended up at Harrenhal, though there's not anything in Fire and Blood that Alice has anything to do with them, guarding them, using them to convince Aemon to hang out with her, etc. Interesting that the eggs are stone, but immediately warm at Aemon's touch, according to him anyway. I feel like it's one of those like MLM things where it's like, put this bracelet on. Can't you feel like you can balance better now? Like, hold these dragon eggs. Don't you feel the warmth?
I mean, he's the one who says it, but also that is a legitimate thing that happens. Even Daenerys in Game of Thrones, when she receives the dragon eggs and she is first like holding them and stuff, she insists that she can feel that they're warmer at one point. So it is something that has been touched on before. And also at this point, dragons are still alive. So it's more legitimate in this case, I think. Even though that is book stuff, I gave that to you to read because I thought it would be interesting to have you actually talk about some book stuff, even though you didn't know it beforehand. But what I wanted to say was, I guess Alice's plan is to get pregnant with Aemon's bebés and give him sons that will then hatch these eggs. I don't know. This seems kind of extra, but shrug. The way she talks is that she has been at Harrenhal long enough to have been hiding these eggs since they were laid there. And that's interesting because that means she's very old. Dreamfire was Rhaena's dragon. Rhaena died in like 70 something AC, and Helena wasn't even born until like 110 AC or something like that. There's 30 years between Rhaena's death and Helena claiming Dreamfire. So these eggs were laid at least at this point like 50 years ago, and Alice is talking like she was alive when they were laid, and obviously she don't look 50. She doesn't look 50, let alone her being old enough to secret these eggs away. Let's say she was really young, like 10. She doesn't look 60. Anyway, Alice is real old. Seems kind of extra for her to be thinking that she can be with Aemon and have children, but hey, magic and stuff, I guess. So I know that Alice is supposedly older than she seems in the book as well. I'm not arguing with that. It's just, this is a very, really, Alice? Okay, this is your plan. Have little Targaryen bebés with Aemon.
Targaryen bebés.
And have them hatch some dragons, and then you two can just take over the world. Like, this is our new Pinky in the Brain here.
Yeah, exactly. You know, with her being so old, I'm just kind of like looking at her like, do you have any talismans on that is maybe masking how old you actually are? Like that red witch lady from Game of Thrones?
No, I think she's just her own sort of magic, and I get that, but I don't know. Either way, I'm still also you over the two of them consummating, waving my hands here, whatever the fuck this relationship is. So
yeah, man, you know the man is gone when he just won't stay there. Honestly, regardless of how old Alice is, I don't think I would have said no to her. I just been like, you want me here forever, babe? All right, let's do it. We'll raise the dragon kids forever. Aemon should definitely give Alice babies all day, every day. Seriously, who wouldn't? Come on.
She is very persuasive.
She's very persuasive, yeah. And if you're somebody, you're just gonna like, yeah, you know what? Okay, sure, fine. What else am I doing? Nothing. I lost my dragon, so.
But again, yeah, but he lost, quote unquote, his dragon. I mean, he didn't lose his dragon. Vhagar had to go off and do her own thing for a bit. She had to find herself. She didn't leave Aemon forever. She just had to, she needed a little vacay. And I think he's right. If he rides out, that she'll find him probably before he finds her. But Alice doesn't want Aemon to leave. So like forget Vhagar. Here are some dragon eggs, and also let's bang.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, maybe this will entice you a little bit. Check out my eggs. So fertile. Come on. What do you think?
Oh my God. Okay. Hot take number 3, 1,000 eyes. I mean, men and one. Or the Gold Cloak Assassination Club is everywhere, never resting until Darren is on the throne. Sure. Damon takes out the president of the GCAC, the Gold Cloak Assassination Club, because of course this guy could not get the upper hand on Damon of all people. But the man's warnings about how the people involved in this are the people of the Seven Kingdoms, the small folk essentially, and will never accept Rhaenyra as queen. And he kind of says without saying that if they cut off one head, more will grow in its place. Not exactly positive portents. I was also very much side-eyeing him calling Darren the Daring, because really, what has he done to earn that nickname? I will say that, yes, it is his nickname in Fire and Blood, but he kind of earns it in the book. And he hasn't done anything to earn a nickname like that in the show. That's all I'm going to say about that, because I don't want to unleash potential spoilers on this podcast. But so you also heard Darren the Daring and were like, huh?
Yeah, I was like, more like the abused obedient. Yeah. Poor kid. He really needs to do himself a favor and just fucking knife Ormond's fucking neck, please. Like when he's not looking, just like, oh yes, I'm just totally obedient. And then
it was a weird name drop that made literally no sense, honestly.
Yeah. And then going back to the Gold Cloak Assassination Club, when Damon found him, clearly he was going to fucking kill the guy. It was rewarding to see him just stick it to your generic sacrificial lamb character. Oh, we're everywhere. You know what? It's like, so are we. Go get fucked. Or like I would have said, he's like, we're everywhere. I'd be like, yeah, but you're not. And then fucking, that's the kind of shit I would have expected from Damon. Thank you. Come again.
But Damon got big mad when, he was saying to this guy, why are you fighting against Rhaenyra? Like, she's done no wrong. He doesn't say she's doing her best or she's trying to do her best, but she is. And also he says, like, she's not wronged you. Why are you fighting against her? And the guy just talks some more shit. And Damon's like, all right, stab you in the neck.
Yep, get fucked.
Not forever. Good riddance. Yeah. But I don't think that's, this guy has a point. This isn't the end of that. Ormond he still has people, and there were definitely witnesses, maybe not to Damon killing this guy, but there were witnesses kind of immediately after that. I'm pretty sure that we've not seen the end of the GCAC.
No, definitely not. Definitely not. Hot take number 4. Girl, go find yourself the Westerosi version of hydrogen peroxide stat. We've been waiting for it. We've been dreading it. And there it is. Rhaenyra's first cut from the Iron Throne. Ugh.
I hated it.
Hostile small council meeting, hostile petition gatherings, hostile throne, blah, 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 LOL, leading up to her cutting herself. Rhaenyra is really leaning into sending people off to go bug Torrhen Manderly, being told a girl was taken from the mother house, and just being like, thoughts and prayers.
T's and P's.
Yeah, that one got me on that one. I was like, girl, you slipping a little bit here.
I'll light a candle for her in the sept, and the sister is just like,
yeah.
Even the sister was like, what the fuck is that gonna do? We need protection. And then all the other people start screaming for protection. And also right before Rhaenyra sweeps out of the room after she cuts herself, there's that one guy who says, wherever the fault lies, we have none to look to now but you. He's got the right of it, sadly. And I think Rhaenyra knows that, but she's just miring through muck here. So I'm still really feeling for our queen. And I do not like that she did finally cut herself on the throne. Like, ugh. But, God, like you said, we've been dreading it and we knew it was coming. And I just,
we knew it was just a matter of time. I was like, Rhaenyra, no. I was like, go get some tussin quick, or just chop it off. She can have my finger to feel whole again. I swear, if she lives long enough to let the leprosy get her, I will just die, dude. It was bad enough to watch my king die of this. I will not watch my queen die in the same fashion.
Have you ever seen My Big Fat Greek Wedding?
I did, yes.
Where the father is like, spray, I think it's Windex, like spray Windex on, if you have a zit, spray Windex on it. It'll make it go away. They need some fucking Windex in Westeros.
Some Windex, exactly. Just something.
They got a Home Depot where people are buying paint, like right up the road in the Red Keep. Just go to Home Depot and get yourself
some Windex. Exactly, dude. Just fucking call it. Just, Uber it. Get an Uber courier and be like, all right, get on your horse and carriage and go bring me back some peroxide, some Windex.
Literally anything. Girl, take care of that cut real quick. That scene was just It was hard to watch. As difficult as like the small council meetings, at least they're a little bit fun, especially with Torin and Lady Frey there now. But watching Rhaenyra struggle to deal with these complaints that are being brought to her by people that I do believe she does care about in her own way, as much as a royal can care about them. I think she does, but it's hard for her to listen. And I almost think even she sees through her, oh, just go to Torn Manderley thing at this point, because it just blame it all on the high towers, go to Torn Manderley. Oh no, I've cut myself on the throne. Oh
no, she is like on the verge of losing any type of control. She is not going to sit on that throne very long. This is a classic example of when you vote somebody in office and you're like, yes, they're the best thing since sliced bread, and then they start doing things, or they start using their mouth hole to say things, and then you're like, oh my god, this was a bad idea. This is kind of what's happening.
Honestly, that's literally everybody voted into office. Let's be real.
Everybody. Yeah, let's be real.
Even the people, even the people you like, even the people that aren't the worst presidents ever, like right now, are still dropping bombs on innocents and shit. So, anyway, not to get into politics in real life.
In real life.
Let's move on to hot take number 5. Shing, slice, thud, splice, splat, pow, yak, bleh. AKA how we think a comic book would portray Gwaine saving Daeron, and I guess Ormond too, from Rhaenyra's assassins. Honestly. Fuck you, Ormond, for poking fun at Gwaine for being gay when you would be dead if it weren't for him at this point. Fuck you, my dude. I also love how the assassins arrived all stinky, which was obviously done on purpose, meaning to throw Ormond off. Good job there, Rhaenyra. You tried. You tried real hard.
Tried. Exactly.
And just really, let's be real, everything about Ormond was hilarious in this scene. He was so ready to be fawned over that he didn't question anything about these so-called Baratheons. Then he was trying to get his men to stop Gwaine from freaking saving him. When Gwaine like picks a knife up off the table and slashes one of the guys across the throat, Ormond is screaming, stop him, and he's talking about Gwaine. Fucking idiot. And him losing his lunch was just the cherry on top.
Yeah. You know, when I was watching it, it almost seemed like he was poisoned at first. And then I was like, oh, cool. This is what's going to happen. He's just going to die right here. But I don't know. Gwaine trying to gain some favor here or something. I mean, I don't know. I would have just let Ormond die. Everyone would have been better off if Ormond just died. I'd have looked at those assassins and been like, hey, let's cut a deal. No pun intended. That's what I would have done. I'd have been like, yeah, if you want to take this one out, totally fine.
Yeah, I think that Gwaine was really all he cared about was protecting Daeron. Let's be real. That's all he really cared about. The unfortunate for us part of that is that he's also protecting Ormond. But even Daeron, when Ormond is screaming at bold John Roxton to stop Gwaine from attacking these, quote, Baratheons, unquote, Daeron is like, no. He holds out his arm and stops him because he understands pretty much immediately that Ormond doesn't understand what's happening. But yeah, unfortunately, Gwaine saving Daeron means he's also saving Ormond, and here we are. Still with Ormond still alive. I don't know that there's not any way Gwaine could have stood back and let this happen without Daeron also dying. So I gotta give him protecting Daeron, even if it meant also saving this fucking dickhead. Ugh, I hate him so much. I just want him to go. But not yet, apparently. Not yet.
Not yet. No. We still got another season after this, so let's see what happens.
Yeah.
Hot take number 6. I don't want to. That being, Hugh sneaks into Tumbleton to take his wife to safety, and she doesn't give two shits that he won the dragon lottery. Let's be real. This is kind of like your spouse disappearing one day and then coming back weeks or maybe months later to tell you they've enlisted without warning you they were about to do so, and thinking it should be all okay because now they'll get a regular paycheck and you can get cheap, nice housing on the base. Never mind the deployments or any of that nonsense. It's all fine, right?
I mean, yeah, that's exactly what this is. I will say, like, I am torn about this scene. I do completely see the points that his wife, Kat, is making, but also at the same time, leaving Tumbleton with her dragon rider husband has to be better than staying there with her brother dead now and Ormond and his men still occupying the town. I don't love this. I also think this certainly throws a wrench into Hugh's plans for his life. And while it's not really Rhaenyra's fault at all, I will not be shocked if he finds a way to place some sort of blame on Rhaenyra for Cat, eschewing him, which
Agreed. Well, I would agree about her leaving with him. Like, it would make more sense, but also, I mean, that's their home too, and it's just like, oh, wait a minute, I got like a nice thing over here. Like, I'm sure they still have people they know and all this kind of stuff there that probably needs protecting too. And also, yeah, you vanish for a few months and then all of a sudden you just kind of show up like, hey, come on, we're getting out of here. It's like, come on, dude.
Also, to be fair, the only people, like Kat has family in Tumbleton, Hugh doesn't. And also her brother is dead. So it's really just her sister-in-law now. And like maybe a couple other people in that household. I can't quite recall off the top of my head who the show has shown living in that house, but her brother is gone. And I understand being angry. And also, again, I go back to what you were saying, like this is your spouse just disappearing one day and coming back weeks or months later and be like, hey, I've enlisted in the Air Force over here. Didn't tell you I was going to do it, but I did. But it's
By
all
the
okay,
way,
right? Because like I'm getting paid and now we can go live on base in some cheap, nice housing. Ignore all the other stuff. Ignore that I'm constantly putting my life in danger and that I'm being, I'm deployed. I'm not home ever anymore. All that stuff. Ignore all that. It's fine. But yeah, I really understand where Kat is coming from. I think that the reasons I'm just so torn about this is because I feel like this is really just going to come back to bite Rhaenyra in the ass, even though she didn't really have anything. Like this was all Hugh's choice. This is not on Rhaenyra. This is all Hugh's choice. And Kat won't leave with him and he's not going to be happy about that. And I don't foresee this ending well for many people. Last but certainly not least, hot take number 7. You have been promoted. You are now one of my elite employees. That's right, y'all. Whether Allison wants it or not, she's landed herself a job as Rhaenyra's newest assassin. God, Allison thinking that she could say no to this is just, I feel for her a little bit, but come on now. Come on now, Allison. How did you think even trying? I guess you got to try, maybe. You got to try to say no. Like, I don't want to add this task onto all my other shit that's going on in my life, but you got no other choice, I guess. She's also not wrong, though, when she reminds Rhaenyra that she warned her that she would come to this, that Rhaenyra would do things she never would have before to keep her throne. Ugh. I don't think this is going to go well, what with Alice being who, or maybe rather what she is, even despite Aemon's former attachment to his mother / his need for her approval. Like, I don't think this is going to go well. I don't like that Allison had to leave Helena in the Red Keep. I don't know that not that Allison is any sort of award-winning mother here, but she was the only person who really was trying to care for or care about Helena, and now Helena has nobody. There's a lot of things about this that aren't going to go well, but also, girl, what did you think was going to happen when you went to Rhaenyra and you were like, hey, so I got this intel. My daughter dreams things, and she cross-stitched Aemon being at Harrenhal, so I know he's at Harrenhal.
Yeah, you kind of started that one, dude. Look, Allison already opened the door to the kingdom at this point. Like, asking her to kill her kid, man, I love my queen, but when does it stop at this point? This is one of those things that it just might be a bridge too far with me. I feel like Rhaenyra's reign is going to quickly turn into Don Cheadle's Captain Planet. If you're unfamiliar with that, then I recommend going on YouTube and searching Don Cheadle Captain Planet and watch that 4-part episode. It's really fucking hilarious, but you can see how good people turn bad very quickly.
Yeah. This does not bode well for Allison. I don't even want to say it doesn't bode well for Aemon, because I think Aemon is going to be fine. I think this definitely does not bode well for Allison, and really, really does not bode well for Rhaenyra. Maybe not directly in a sense, but I just don't. This is not a good look, Rhaenyra. This whole episode was not a good look for Rhaenyra.
Not a good look. They've done a great job on just not making her look good for the past, well, pretty much since she took the fucking throne.
And she's trying. And the weird thing is with Game of Thrones, when all the shit happened with Daenerys, it felt so rushed and so bad. And yes, they're doing a little bit of like minor time skipping here. Weeks have passed or whatever, maybe months. I don't think it's been months, but it could have been. They're doing a good job. And House of the Dragon in this season specifically was showing Rhaenyra's struggles and how they are changing her and changing the decisions she would make without making it seem super rushed. Maybe a little bit rushed, but definitely not to the Game of Thrones extent. So I'm gonna keep my fingers crossed for the rest of the season that they don't push things too far. But on that note, I think it might be time for our favorites roundup. So first things first, Alan telling Corlys off when Corlys was all like, Rhaenyra won't even legitimize you. He's like, well, Daddy-o, you didn't either for how long? And Corlys is like taken aback. He's like,
yeah,
what to say.
Can't say anything to that. Yep, that was so well delivered and so well deserved.
Especially because before Alan said that, Corlys was very much like, I ain't going to King's Landing. I ain't taking my men to King's Landing. And then in the end, he's like, all right, guys, guess we're going to King's Landing. Gotta help Rhaenyra. He does say, I've been away for far too long. How long has it been? I don't feel like it's really been that long. I guess it could have been months. I'm a little shaky on what timeline they're trying to showcase here, but that doesn't matter anyway because Corlys done been kidnapped. So he's certainly not making it to King's Landing. I don't know if his men are even still alive at this point.
Yeah.
But Alan telling him off a little bit was what changed his mind about that. So go Alan for that. I will not say go Alan for hooking up with Bela. That was weird, but
that was weird.
I don't even know what to say about that. I was like, I'm not putting this as a hot take. I'm not putting this as a favorite because it's not. It's weird. I don't get it. But hey, I guess get yours where you want to get it, Bela.
Yeah.
Also, Adam is right there.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, look, not all the decisions are going to be made properly. It's going to be a few slip ups every now and then.
Another thing I had was, my God, I love me some Daemon, but it's hilarious that he is probably about to go viral in the worst way for beating up on Ulf. You know that one girl who saw the whole thing and rushed off is just about to take her story to Westerosi TikTok.
Yep.
He knows it too because he says what he says, he does what he does, and then he looks around and sees all the people watching him, and I don't know if he really cares, but he's like, oh, okay. I don't know that he cares, so I don't know if it's like a oopsie moment for him, but this ain't gonna go over well.
That's not gonna go over well at all.
Lastly, I loved this line and Rhaenyra's delivery of it when Alice comes to tell her that she knows where Aemond is, and it's because of Helena. And Rhaenyra says she dreams. She's a dreamer, like Daenerys who foresaw the doom. And she's very like thoughtful. I liked the line, and I really, really liked the delivery of it. I thought that was just a really good moment.
Yeah, I agree. That was delivered very well. Well, for mine, I can't top your first one. That was definitely the first one on my list, was just Corlys getting put in his place. I had a hard time coming up with favorite moments here because there were so many of them, but I just could not think about anything else except Cole. Arrow in the face, dude. It was like I asked my mom for a bike and she came home with a supercar for me. It was just the best gift.
I struggled with favorite moments for this one too. And not because I didn't like the episode. I did. I guess I can go back to, I've already said it, but I loved Black Alley Blackwood being the one to shoot Cole. That's definitely a favorite thing, but I talked about it in the hot takes. So it's like, yeah, I didn't dislike this episode. Honestly, 10 out of 10 for Allie being the one to take Cole out, even though it was definitely a change from the books. I would say that Alan telling Corlys off was also a 10 out of 10 Targ eyebrows. The Daemon thing I can't rate because it's not a great look for characters that we love. It's not a great look for him, which means it's not going to be a great look for Rhaenyra. And it's also, Ulf is not happy about it. So I don't want to rate that one. And also, even though it's more of like a quiet moment, that line that Rhaenyra has about Helena being a dreamer, I really love that. 9 out of 10 Targ eyebrows probably for that. It's kind of an in passing thing, but I just loved the way it was delivered. But really the main thing is, well, you said 11 out of 10 and I just said 11 out of 10 Targ eyebrows for Coleslaw.
Yes,
being dead
11D,
now.
110. If any people who don't know, that's what 11D is.
Which is also 110, but
110. But yes, that was awesome. That was really good. And I could feel it coming too, which is what I liked so much about it. I was like, oh, something's going to happen here. But I thought they were going to like at least let him go out like, oh, look at me, so sad. And they're going to write songs or operas or dubstep or whatever for my actions that I'm doing right now. And the fact that he's just like mid-sentence, just, oh, it's like, sucker.
I guess I'll say I will give 10 out of 10 target eyebrows to Oscar Tully talking some shit. I should have put that in my favorites roundup. Oscar Tully being like,
Yeah.
I said I would build a throne of bones out of the people who have wronged us, and I don't have nearly enough bones.
Yep.
Go him, honestly.
Yeah, no, that was good. That was fantastic.
Smart ass little kid. I love him. I love
Oh, yeah.
him.
Love him.
What would you rate the episode as a whole?
The episode as a whole, I would give it probably I'd probably give it an 8 or 9 out of 10, somewhere in there.
Yeah,
I
I'm thinking
liked
an 8.
Yeah, probably an 8 is probably more fair, honestly. It was a good episode. It was definitely good. I will say that I feel like the pacing in this season, even though it be a little more chaotic, I feel like it's actually kind of going somewhere, or at least doing a good job on not being at Harrenhal for,
Yeah.
4 seasons or however long it was.
We're still getting the bits and pieces of Harrenhal. Yes, we returned to Harrenhal in this episode, but it was stuff moving the plot forward and not just
Exactly.
humans being stuck there. Moving the plot forward in very weird ways, but yeah,
Agreed.
I would give it an 8 out of 10, maybe an 8.5. I think that if Kristen Cole hadn't died, I probably would have given it like a 7. I think a 6.5. 6.5 if Kristen Cole hadn't died. But I think Kristen Cole dying 8.5. 8.5 target eyebrows for this episode because he's dead.
He's fucking dead. And I
He's
never
gone.
have to fucking see him or hear his pouty little fucking bitch ass anymore.
Last but not least, what are Maester Manny's predictions for the next episode?
So this first one, I don't know if it's going to be a next episode, but this was about the best I can come up with. But I think we're going to see Rhaenyra just become a complete villain. I think the tables are going to turn and there's going to hit that point where we're just going to be like, bro, stop. I can't support you if you're going to do this. I can't make excuses for you.
I hope that doesn't happen right away in the next episode, because honestly, that would be when it would start to feel very rushed for me, for her to become a villain that quickly.
I just feel like she's just right on the cusp right now because of what's going on there.
She cut herself on the Iron Throne and she's now possessed by all the ghosts of the evil people whose swords are...
Exactly.
And they weren't all evil people, but there are definitely some evil people's swords who are melted into that throne. So like she cuts her finger on the throne or her hand on the throne, and now all of a sudden it's like villain.
Villain, exactly. Just instantly becomes bad. And now that Corlys is gone, dead or captured, I guess he was captured. From what I saw,
we didn't see him die on screen, Manny. We didn't see a body.
It looked like to me is that when they grabbed him, somebody comes up in front of him and it looks like he's making a gesture, like he's stabbing him in the chest repeatedly. And that's what made me think like, oh, well, he's just unceremoniously fucking killed. Go just fucking kill him. So I don't know. Captured? Yeah, possible, I guess. Maybe they were tying him up and I just saw it wrong or whatever. But that's what I thought. I originally thought that he was just killed. They shivved his ass like the way you do in prison, because that's what it looked like. Somebody came from behind him and the guy in front of him, you see him doing this, like he's just shanking him over and over again.
I'm not saying you're wrong about him being shanked, but what I am saying is that you yourself have stated that if we don't see a body, then
that is true.
The character is not dead. So that's where I went with it. I actually think I thought that last night. I was like, oh, he's not dead, because
this will be the second time this season that they did not produce a body. So he must still be alive, because he fell off the boat, right? Wasn't that in the first episode? Yeah. And we never saw the body, so I knew he wasn't dead. I think you're absolutely right. I want to back you up on this one. We didn't see the body, so we just saw something happening there. And also, I predict in the next episode that Aemon and Alice will talk words again, and nothing else will happen.
We'll go back to Harrenhal just to see them talk words.
Just to see him talk words. They're going to be like, eggs. Look at my eggs. And then he'll be like, oh, I'm so depressed and I need my dragon. And she's like, but touch my eggs. And he's like, oh, I'm going to stay here forever now. Yes. And then the next episode, just boom, next one. Okay, that's it.
Allison is on her way to Harrenhal. Do you think that Allison will make it there? This doesn't have to be part of your predictions. I'm just
I
curious.
think we can totally throw that into predictions. I think we can add this one in there because I actually thought about this when I was writing this down. I think Allison will make it to Harrenhal, absolutely, but she will not bring it to herself to kill Aemon, and is probably will let Aemon know what she has done, and then she will probably die instead. And she's like, I was just trying to prevent bloodshed and blah 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 and all this stuff, and then she's gonna get killed.
You think Allison will die in the next episode, or do you think that's going to be spread out? You don't watch any episode previews or anything like
No.
that either.
Nope.
You are coming at this full on
Blindly.
blind. I think we've never really made that clear that Manny comes at these predictions. He watches the episode and that is it. Not only has he not read the books, but he does not watch any previews. So
no previews, none of the 12-minute after episode things where they talk about things just in case. I don't do any of that. I literally just watch the episode and then I'm gone. Okay. That is it.
That's why your predictions are always like very vague and like
Very
might
vague.
cover like 8 episodes.
Exactly. Because I'm literally going on nothing. I'm not one of those fake psychics, right? I'm a real psychic. I'm just wrong 98% of the time, but I'm real. See, because I'm not like looking at something and saying, oh, well, I saw the preview, but I'm not going to tell anybody. And this is exactly what's going to happen. No.
You do get partial predictions right
I
a
do
lot
get
of the
partials,
time.
yeah.
And this time you got that one full prediction right about that Massaria was going to start playing both sides.
Yeah.
You got that fully correct. That already happened. So
see, that's really good because in life, you never shoot for the stars. You never try to be number one. You got to be number 5. You got to be in the middle. So that way you never disappoint anyone. So that way it's like, no, this fucker gets it wrong half the time. However, some of them are right. Keeps people fucking interested. If I was right all the time and I got one wrong, then people are going to say I'm a fraud. If people know I'm a fraud already, then when I get one right, they'll be like, oh shit, no, look at him, man. You go, boy. Look at him go. Always shoot for the middle, guys. Never shoot for the stars.
Well, anything else to say about this episode?
No, we have what, 2 episodes left?
Yeah.
Before our 2-year hiatus or however.
Yeah.
Till the final season. Yeah, nothing else to say about this one. To me, they really wrapped up the final plot point of House of the Dragon, which is how Sir Cole Crispin fucking whatever the fuck a lot is finally dead with the arrow. And like they should have just rolled the closing credits and said, thank you for watching House of the Dragon season 1.
10-minute long episode.
Exactly. We hope you all enjoyed it. And then at the very end of the credits, it says Sir Crispin Cole will not return in, I don't know, fucking House of the Butterfly Kingdoms season 1 or whatever. That just ends immediately, you know.
Sir Crispin Cole will not return in Night of the Seven Kingdoms.
He will not return. We would like to apologize to everyone who watched him. This will not happen again. We've learned our lesson. We're very sorry.
At the end of season 1, it's the only time we did this, but we did that like memoriam episode for our king. I think that it would take a lot for us to do another in memoriam episode, but guess who we will never do an in memoriam episode for is Kristen Cole.
Kristen Cole, goodbye.
Everything anti-opposite RIP of for Sir Cole of House Law here.
Yes, exactly. I do want to give a big hats off to Fabian Frankel. He's the one who played Sir Kristen Cole. Fantastic actor. He did a great job in his role. I'm not sorry that you're gone because I didn't like your character. However, as an actor, I wish you nothing but the best success and I hope you get some really big roles and continue forward in life. I can at least give credit where credit is due to the actor, but his character sucked ass. I'm sorry you had that, Fabian, but maybe the next role I won't hate you as much.
Sometimes you have to give credit where credit is due for an actor who made you hate a character that much. Yes, some of it was writing. A lot of it was writing. A lot of it was direction, but for sure, a lot of it is delivery. And
delivery is on the actor. That you cannot write delivery. The actor has to do it, and he did fantastic with it. So hats off, Fabian. It was awesome to see you. I'm glad I'm not going to see you in the show anymore. But again, I wish you all the best and just hope you get some good fucking roles, man, and you get some good recognition because you deserve it, dude.
Yeah, agreed. All right. As we close out the episode, we just want to thank you, our listeners, for joining us for Hot D Takes. Manny and I will be back next week to cover season 3, episode 7. For the most current news and updates about this series, make sure to follow at A Geek Saga on Blue Sky, Facebook, Instagram, Threads, and or YouTube. And also, pretty please consider backing our Patreon at patreon.com/geeksaga_entertainment.